It is happening again. Division I conferences are realigning, and that means that everything that we thought we knew about college sports is about to change. USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten is probably the biggest warning shot we have ever witnessed that college sports is evolving. And I promise you, this is only the beginning. But why do colleges realign in the first place? And what does this mean for every other college who doesn't get moving? My solution is simple. There will be 3 different types of schools in existence. Those that have a lot, those that have a lot less, and those that barely have anything at all. For those colleges that have a lot, I'd rather show you than tell you. USC and UCLA are making the move to the Big Ten for the same reason that Syracuse and Pittsburgh decided to join the ACC some years ago. It all comes down to money. College football is big business, and the old Big East was not known for much of anything as far as Division I football is concerned. Rest in peace. By joining the ACC, Syracuse entered the same conference with Miami. That is a distance of about 1,500 miles. But more big name teams means more big name matchups and more television money. This set the precedent for major conference realignment. But what we are seeing now is something different entirely, and I know exactly who to blame: the SEC. Widely considered the best conference in college football, they kidnapped Texas A&M and Missouri from the Big 12, making it no longer all that big, to be honest. And later, Oklahoma and the Texas Longhorns. So the Southeastern Conference, which is what the SEC actually means, is no longer even based in the Southeast. The SEC has been building a super conference for a while now, and they're not even doing it under the radar. Because when you grab the Texas Longhorns, who have their own ESPN syndicate network, you are officially big game hunting. So the Big Ten is answering this by adding their own national powerhouses. Remember, this is all about television money, and the Pac-12 just happens to be in the wrong time zone. Sorry, California, but that's their problem with trying to maximize it. I apologize to any recruit who does not play football, because, to be honest, that is the only sport that matters when realignment happens. The NCAA has expressed interest in reevaluating the 3-division model for some time now, but realignment is proving that many schools got tired of waiting. The Big Ten just signed a television deal worth $7 billion. You can't make this stuff up. So if that means that UCLA's volleyball team will soon have to travel to New Jersey to play Rutgers, perhaps on a weekday for a regular season game, so be it. And now for those that have a lot less, because conference realignment has a trickle-down effect. Think of it like the aftershocks of an earthquake. When realignment happens, the rich get a lot richer, and everyone else is just trying to eat dinner. If a team leaves a conference, someone else is likely going to have to replace them, or the conference runs the risk of blowing up the entire competitive balance. And realignment starts a nationwide game of capture the flag, which radiates through FBS anytime a big shift is made. If you aren't the Big Ten or the SEC, then you are likely just trying to get enough teams to make any legitimate television money. Which is why the not-so-Big 12 is now in line to add BYU and UCF. No offense, but That's a huge drop off in name recognition and marketability from Oklahoma and Texas. And when UCF leaves the American Conference, that only exists because the old Big East was exterminated. The American Conference itself has to turn around and grab teams like Florida Atlantic from Conference USA. In fact, they are in line to add 6 teams in total from the Conference USA. No disrespect, but if that's not decimating a conference, I don't know what is. So Conference USA gets desperate, and they grab whoever they can. Basically whoever else doesn't have a date to the prom, like any D1 FBS independent school, and later pulling up schools from FCS. By now you should be following how all of this works. The domino effect rolls on down through FBS into FCS, and eventually that thing is going to hit Division II. These schools aren't realigning to make a lot of money. They're just doing it to survive. The competitive landscape is shifting where the schools who have always had now have a lot more. And the teams who have a lot less don't want to end up with nothing. So they'll just buy whatever teams they can in order to sell whatever football product possible and hopefully get whatever is left of the television money that exists. Which brings us to everyone else that I mentioned earlier, those that barely have anything at all. Because whatever the NCAA world is changing itself into will likely leave Division II and Division III to fall far by the wayside. There are talented athletes all across the NCAA. But while the Big Ten is signing $7 billion television deals, there are Division II schools that can't even sell out a 2,500 seat stadium. I'm 100% serious. There are D2 stadiums that are even smaller than that. And that might as well be playing football in a local park somewhere compared to a 100,000 seat stadium. The NCAA's mission statement says they want to govern competition in an equitable and sportsmanlike manner. But it is safe to say that no longer applies to the Big Ten or the SEC. There are only a few television channels to watch college sports, so TV money cannot go to everyone. And conference realignment has let big-time football make decisions that impact every single college athlete, regardless of whether they play football or not. I don't know what the future of the NCAA will look like, but if the gap between the haves and the have-nots gets any wider, we may not have anywhere near as many colleges who are interested in playing at all.